Welcome to Digital Hospitality. I am your host, Sean Walchef, founder of Cali BBQ and Cali BBQ Menu, 2023 National Restaurant Association show. I am at the coolest fucking booth in the entire place.
Ooh,
love it.
Spicy language.
Spicy language.
Good. Yeah.
Spicy language.
Good.
I'm in a
Sunday
speakeasy.
like that.
Yeah, you are in a speakeasy. It's
Brendan
great.
Sweeney, Tony Roy, co-founders of Popmenu. You guys have a special place in my heart because last year was the first time I brought my barbecue media team to the show. You guys were the first content activation. You believe in the internet. This show is about internet belief, internet storytelling. We talk about the intersection of four things, 4 C's: content, commerce, communication, and community. All of those things converge on one device, the smartphone, and you guys are bringing restaurants into the digital age. Give the audience who doesn't know about Popmenu the elevator pitch.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for that intro, by the way. And that was fun last year.
Lots of fun.
My favorite part was a guy walked behind us eating a hot dog while we were being interviewed. Yeah. Thanks for being in our speakeasy. Thanks for having us. Popmenu is, it grows every year, what we're trying to do to help restaurants, but really what it comes down to is the digital world is crazy, it's complex, it's very hard to manage even for people who are really into tech and really into digital. And we know that if you got into hospitality, that's probably not your number one, strength. And so we're all about helping restaurants navigate the digital world, grow their business, while giving them simplicity and control back that really the internet's taken from a lot of them, because so much for so long has been wholly controlled by third-party platforms, whether it's discovering your next dining destination or it's ordering, what have you. And that's fine. We don't think there's anything wrong with third-party. It's just there should be first-party tools to balance it out. And so it's kind of a Shopify versus Amazon approach. And so that's what we do. We've been doing it for 6.5 years. We work with 11,000, 12,000 restaurants. Most of them are single location, but many national groups, regional groups. And we just love what we're doing. And we love what we're here to share is kind of, it's not full circle because you're never done, but we're bringing together a lot of elements that have been building for the 6.5 years we've been running the business. And so we're super excited to bring those elements here in some new product this year.
It's awesome. Tony, tell me.
You did pretty good.
Tell me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give us the
quick
other
elevator
side,
pitch?
because there's always a yin and a yang.
Well, I'll tell you what I tell a restaurant owner.
Tell me what you tell them.
And this is what typically most people are using, right? They're using 8, 10 different tools or contractors to manage that digital footprint.
Yep.
It's becoming more complex. It's becoming more important, more critical, some would say, to a restaurant's success in this new world. And I always say, hey, do you want to manage 8 or 10 tools and contractors that don't talk to each other, don't give you economies of scale, don't necessarily optimize you for Google, which is the number one place Brendan starts his activity? And do you want to spend $2,000, $3,000 a month? Or do you want to have an all-in-one platform that consolidates, gives you time back in the day, gives you better insights about the consumer, so your remarketing is on point, and ultimately I get him back 8 times a year instead of 2? That's a pretty easy answer to that question. Hey, I'll take option number 2, right? And so what we've done is build upon that. Like Brendan said, we started out with the menu, and then we've continued to expand on that. The AI component we've been working on for a couple of years. We've actually been using AI for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And the latest feature is just another example of us innovating, we believe, much faster than other people.
So let's break it down for the audience. I know we've got a very intelligent audience, but when I come to technology shows, we're in the technically tech pavilion, AI is artificial intelligence. Why does that matter to restaurants?
I think one of the biggest things, why have we used it for multiple years already? And why is it accelerating now with ChatGPT and these other tools that just make it more accessible, more scalable? The number one answer is we don't have enough people to do everything we need done in restaurants, and that includes marketing. We are in touch with our client base and other restaurants all the time, asking things like, if you had a magic wand and you could make one person appear to do one thing, what would it be? More than half of those people said marketing.
Yep.
And so it is something that's difficult.
More than half.
More than half.
I believe it. Yeah.
And they were even saying things like, compared to like a line chef and things like that. So as hard as it is to find people to do the operations of a restaurant, marketing is also super hard. Technology makes it more efficient. AI is the most efficient version of that technology. And so it expresses itself in different ways. One of them, which we kind of launched here last year, but really has been going for 1.5 years, is our AI-based phone answering.
Okay.
One of the toughest problems for restaurants.
We hate answering the phone.
We hate it. You just can't answer the phone. Even if you have the people I met with
Does
an owner.
Amazon answer the phone?
Does Amazon answer the phone?
They've never answered
I
my
don't
call
even
or
know
my
if they have
wife's
a phone
call.
number. Yeah. So I met with a client who was like, I have all phone calls routed to my mobile phone because I don't trust the AMI staff to answer it correctly.
Come on.
Yeah, she's the owner.
Come on.
And she's like,
Stop
I can't get the team to answer it the way I want, so I do it. And so I'm sitting by the pool answering questions. Well, but the reality is most phone calls to restaurants do not get picked up.
Yes.
And those phone calls are all opportunities. And so, and we've talked, the biggest hump for restaurateurs is, I don't want a robot talking to people.
Yep.
And it's like, no, of course, you prefer a person. You can give real hospitality that way. But if you can't have them, and you can't, because paying someone and increasing wages to just be around to answer the phone doesn't work economically, but also missing the opportunities doesn't work. And so, do people want to talk to a person? Of course. Excuse me. In the absence of that, they want the information. And so whether it's, do you have availability for a big party on Saturday? What's your parking like? Do you have trivia nights? Can I do a private dining event? These are questions people need answers to. And if they call a restaurant and don't get an answer, they go on to the next one. And so AI is massive in that, because what it can do is look at entire massive data sets, which we have. So for every restaurant we have that's online with us, we have all of their menu information. We have all of their offers, events, their location, like everything. And so for us, AI can say, okay, there's an inbound query. Someone's asking a question. Bang it against all of that data that we have and say, what's the right answer? And then boom, deliver it back to them in a short, quick, experience. So that's an example of why AI is such a no-brainer, because it can do so many things so quickly. And so we actually started off with, sorry, I'm having a little thing, just too much talking here.
Speakeasy.
Yeah,
it's a speakeasy.
That's it. It's very smoky in here.
It's very smoky in the speakeasy.
We actually started using AI to tell our clients whether or not to accept or reject a review that came through to them through Popmenu.
Wow.
So we were doing sentiment analysis in 18 or 19, I think. And so that's a very basic, kind of novel, approach. Then we started doing the phone, the AI-based phone answering, and that's a real time saver, cost saver, opportunity capturer. And so you start to see, okay, it goes from being novel to being really seriously useful. And we've answered more than 2 million calls, right around 2 million calls through it, and saved so many people so much time, getting answers given to consumers correctly while not using up a valuable team member's time. And now where we're progressing with it is these content generation tools are just useful in, it is one of the hardest things for restaurants.
Yep.
Hey, sit down, tell everybody about your offer. Okay, what am I going to say about Taco Tuesday?
Yes.
Correct.
I
don't know what, that's been my example over and over, because everyone does a Taco
Wing
Tuesday.
Wednesday?
Wing Wednesday. What am I going to say? You freeze at the thing.
Yep.
So the ChatGPT makes it easy to get the content written.
Yep.
So okay, that's part one. You get a bunch of content written, whether it's email, social, the website, whatever it is. Thank you. But what's great for us, since we've been using AI for a long time and since our platform is so data rich, we actually have all of these unique points of data we can use to make a much richer, less generic experience off of ChatGPT. And now we're starting to do things like completely create social posts. Oh, you added an LTO, you added a dish, you added an event. We automatically made a post for you. Just check it and review it or send it. And now it's going into, we're actually building complete marketing calendars for people.
That's really cool.
And so, boom, in a click, this is what we're announcing here, and we're sharing what it looks like and signing people up early for it.
It's breaking news?
It's breaking news.
It's breaking news.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
And so, this, when I said it's kind of full circle, it's like this is what we've been working towards forever. Since we started the business, is we're just going to take all of the thinking about marketing and we're just going to execute it for you. And then you can go through and say, okay, that's my month of posts, that's my month of social posts and email and text. Review them, approve them, or just leave them and let them fly and get on with your life. Yeah. And so you can approve a whole month worth of marketing in 5 or 10 minutes and then go do the thing that you love to do in hospitality. So long answer about AI, but from the basic applications we started with a few years ago to really replace, if you are not able to find or hire a marketing consultant, all of a sudden this system is going to be doing so much for you and making your life easier while still engaging the market. I'll stop talking now.
I think one of the coolest things for me is meeting you guys last year, learning about what you were building, seeing what you had already built, talking to you, Tony, how excited you guys were for this phone answering, for this AI, the restaurant groups that were literally, as we're talking, coming to the booth, and you're like, dude, I got to go and talk to this restaurant group because they understand how powerful it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's these light bulbs that switch in these, whether you're a single unit or whether you're multi-unit, where you go, we need to look at our entire stack and we need to simplify it.
Yeah.
We need to have the best partners in this internet race so that we can literally do what we do best, which is take care of people with hospitality.
See, I say all the time, I think there's a lot of people out there that have good intentions, but they're pushing a product versus trying to solve the problem, right?
Yeah.
AI answering is just another example of problem solving. Every call to the business is a transaction is how we describe it, right?
Yep.
Some of those times it's a qualifying question, right? Hey, do you cook with peanut oil because my friend is allergic? If I can't get a definitive answer to that, I assume that you do cook with peanut oil, so I don't ask for the reservation link. I don't ask to place the order. I think people forget about that. So the other thing is, if you're in a post-COVID world where labor is never easy in this business, it's certainly gotten even more stressed. The last thing you want to do is take an inexperienced or stressed labor force and take them away from servicing an 8-top, providing real hospitality to go answer a question that you close at 9 o'clock on Sunday, right? The other thing is you can now handle with AI 300 calls at the same time. So if someone's asking about a future event or a large party or anything like that, or an order, now you don't have to worry about a noise barrier or noise distraction, language barrier. They get an online link sent to them where they can see a dynamic menu, featured items, which is your high profit item, by the way. So AI is just another example of solving the problem. My short answer to Brendan's would be that it just gives them a lot of time to focus on actually running the business. As he mentioned at the beginning, most restaurateurs didn't get into this business because they love technology. They want to go write code. And as much as they would like to write a pretty email, they just don't have the time. So anything you can do to accelerate that and make it easy for them is putting them in a better spot.
Can you guys talk about the journey? Because we're here, National Restaurant Association show. You guys have this absolutely incredible booth.
Thank you.
You're on Deloitte's list. You're on Fast Company's list. Literally, I'm not making this story up. I was at the Uber Eats booth yesterday talking to a product manager, Brandy, from Uber Direct. And I'm sitting there talking about, oh yeah, we love what Popmenu's doing, is what comes out of my mouth. And they go, we want to speak to the guys at Popmenu. And you guys literally, like, it was like on cue. I literally couldn't
appreciate
say
that.
But that's Uber knowing about you guys. Like, from where you were to where you are now, how does it feel? And how does it happen? What's the secret sauce?
Right. Feels good.
Because we're looking down at all the other booths.
Right.
But it, you know, it takes a team, and I know you guys have an absolutely incredible team downstairs, and the people that I've interacted with in the last year, and more importantly, the restaurants that have told me about Popmenu, about the things that they're doing and the things that you've helped them do. It's exciting.
That's awesome. It is exciting, and thanks. Yeah, it does feel good. Just to know that we're doing our part. Like, it's not bullshit. We care. We want to help restaurateurs. Still, 80% of our business is single locations. You know, a lot of mom and pop, a lot of people who are just like, I'm really good at hospitality. This other stuff is crazy to me and difficult, and we love helping them, and we love building technology, but we love also helping them understand, hey, here are things we learned from other businesses that you can apply here and make your business better. And so I feel like what it comes down to start with is we have the right intentions. We really want to help. Like, we really want to build things that are useful, and we really want to help restaurants be better businesses. And so part one is we're doing it for the right reasons. You know, none of us got into this and said, let's go try to become billionaires by ripping off in restaurants. You know, we just said, let's build a product that helps and price it as, you know, the most fair way we can, so we can run a business and continue to deliver it more and more. And then the other part of it is we're really, really close with our clients. And so we have, in our product team, we have 2 people whose full-time job is organizing customer discovery sessions every single day.
Wow.
And so whether we're running through a prototype, whether we're running through a test, you know, like a test to try to get them to uncover different things, just general feedback, on-site feedback. We are every single day scheduling sessions with clients to make sure we're sticking with them and that we're working on the problems that are the biggest struggle points for them. That's number one. It's just, well, the intentions, I say, was number one, but really, if you're not staying close with your clients, and if you're not really living it with them, it's very difficult to build the right thing. And then the team. I mean, we have a team that all buys in, and the people who work at Popmenu are the most passionate when we hear from a client that we help them. You know, that we've heard from clients that they wouldn't have made it through COVID without us. You know, we've had like real personal stories where we helped them through when there were, you know, when there were health issues and family issues, things like that. Like that's, I've never had that in a job before. None of us have. It's really, it pulls us in, and it just builds our empathy for restaurant owners. And we also feel like we're a hammer for them. It's like take some control back, take some simplicity back, you know, take some control over your costs back by getting a tool that you can use to tell your story digitally. So I think all of that is why we've, you know, staked out a bit of a place in the industry, and we continue to build it. And also I'm loving that. I was mentioning to you before we started rolling that it's been cool to see, even just one day into the show, there just seems to be so much more discussion and collaboration between various players here. You know, we're in booths with other people. They're coming to us. Hey, we've nibbled around on a partnership or an integration or whatever, just over Zoom. But here we are in person, talking more. I feel like there's a real energy towards all of us. I think there's a real energy towards improving the industry for restaurants, and that's super cool to see.
Yeah, I think when what you were saying, what you guys were telling me before, we always say a rising tide lifts all leaderships, and the fact that you guys, both co-founders, are here, boots on the ground, showing your team how much you believe in it, showing the customers, having those customer conversations. It's powerful. Yeah. It's powerful because we can't take anything for granted. I mean, how far were the conversations like 7 years ago versus what we're talking about today? What keeps you up at night?
A lot of stuff keeps you up. We literally started in our garage, in our back office kind of garage, and back in the day. So first of all, it's humbling to be where we are now. What keeps me up at night is just trying to understand, think ahead of and he's the product guy, so he can talk more about that. But what keeps me up at night is I wish that everybody was candid with restaurateurs in an effort to help them, right? I think what we find is that for decades they've been in some ways abused by technology companies, right? They've been sold something that wasn't a great fit, wasn't focused on really solving the core issue. Not that company may have. Are
you telling me that Web 1.0 companies, they're not boots on the ground and the founders aren't here at the national restaurant? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm saying that a static website,
because I haven't seen any of them. I don't even know who they are.
It's not helping you.
A lot of products that we used in 2008 when we opened up our restaurant, I don't know who runs them. I don't know anybody from their teams. But like the companies we work with now are companies like you guys that we have a relationship with all the departments, and you care about our feedback. You care about how do you make this thing better.
Yeah. Well, we train our team when they're out there consulting is like, hey, there's power in being candid.
Yes.
And what that means is don't make false promises about what we can't do, and don't avoid calling out an opportunity when you know the customer's doing something that's not going to help them.
Yep.
The customer's either going to understand and believe you and respect that, or they're not. And if they don't, there's no problem. We'll move on to the next one and help them. But for me, it's just realizing like every day we have to go out there and prove to restaurants that they don't have to be abused anymore. They can trust us.
Yeah,
I think about that every day, and just talent in general, right? At our
talent,
company,
recruiting talent. Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're where we are because we have great people, and so you're always looking to upgrade the talent as you expand the team, as you develop new products, as you open new markets, and so I think internally, I always think about that as a leader.
And I just think about both. I mean, we'll have investors say that. Like, what keeps you up at night, or
you guys?
What are you guys working on?
You guys keep us up.
That's right. Fair enough. That's about as candid as you can get, right there. What we say to all of them is like all the shit we just went through. Like, I think what's interesting, companies like us, restaurateurs, we've just been through chaos like for 3 years, and everyone's just trying to deal with these waves of macro insanity from the lockdowns to labor, shortage, to supply chain stuff, to inflation. We've built so much resilience, all of us, restaurant tech companies, the industry, built so much resilience through that. It's like, I mean, the things that keep me up at night are things that would keep anybody up at night. It's like, macro war, stuff like that.
Things we can't control.
But I think that also that speaks to the opportunity that's in this space, both for restaurants and for the companies like us that provide for them. Is the opportunity is still so massive, is still so huge. I mean, every year, this is our 6th year.
How many shows do you guys do a year?
Not that many.
Not that many.
Why?
Why do you prioritize this show?
For me, it's the community and education piece of this. Like, it's not necessarily about let's go. I mean, of course, we want to get as many clients as we can. That makes the economics work. But we do speaking here.
Yep.
Every time we do a lot of media here. We get to release new product information. I just feel like it's that cornerstone event, for the industry. There's a lot of great events out there, and we have people at them. But this one, we make it a real point of let's be in and let's support the event. Let's do our speaking engagements. Let's meet as many partners as possible.
And that's a lot of it, right? The credibility that it establishes in the market.
Yep.
A lot of large partnerships came to us as a result of our experience last year.
Yep.
And obviously you get to interact with a lot of clients. You get opportunity to hear their questions, things they're thinking about, and make sure that it's aligned with what we're thinking about.
Yeah.
So all in all, it's for all those reasons.
And just to close the loop on that, what keeps me up at night, like there's all this stuff we can't control. Those are the only things, like I don't think there's much that we don't think we could figure out a way around. I think the thing that we think about the most is how do we deliver the most value possible to restaurants? And now a big thing we've invested in the last 6 months is how do we make sure they know that we're delivering this value? We talked to here one of the biggest restaurant groups in the world last year, and a senior leader who runs a huge chunk of that group. He goes, hey, listen, can you help me answer a question? We have all of these extremely smart, extremely high-paid marketing professionals, and they can't tell me a damn thing about what our spend is doing.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's the biggest, one of the biggest groups in the world, and of course, down to single location, coffee shops, boba tea, everything. People are like, what is my money doing? And so we have spent a ton of time in reflecting back to our client. We've been developing features that tell, hey, here's what that text did.
Yep.
Here's how many orders it generated. Here's how many, directly, here's how many we infer that it generated. Same with email, rolling it all up. So making sure they understand the value we're driving is the thing that keeps me up at night. It's like, I know we're driving it.
Yep.
I know from organic search all the way through to repeat orders, we're driving value. Making that something that's digestible and understandable for a restaurateur without having to look through a million dashboards is, that's one of the things that we've been super focused on, and it's like, it's really critical for us to deliver that to get to the next level.
So for those that are listening, let's pretend that you guys are both doing a keynote and you have one product, one thing for the audience to take away, one hook, because I know you're building an all-in-one platform, but I need one problem that you're going to solve for the audience that's listening. Tony, go. What's the problem? How do you use Popmenu solve it?
I want to help you get more clients with less work and less spend.
How?
By consolidating everything.
Do you fix my website?
What's that?
If my website sucks, can Popmenu fix it?
Absolutely. In fact, we should, by the way. In fact, if anyone's listening or watching, make sure that he follows up on that. I'm going to follow up.
Do that.
In fact, I have an agreement downstairs.
I'm pretty sure I ran through a product demo saying, do you guys publish content as well? And you go, nobody's asked for blog content, podcast content.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm asking. It's right here. We're asking live.
It's happening. They're committed.
The content media restaurants are coming.
Yeah.
They're the ones that listen to this show, and they know that they need to be publishing content because it helps with search, it helps with discoverability, it helps with marketing.
Totally.
There's a direct correlation. There's a direct correlation between
See, that's why you guys listen to the show.
Those impressions and getting transactions, right? That's if a restaurant is thinking about how they improve, you have to use smart technology to manage through what will be forever ongoing challenges that the market presents you, whether it's COVID, whether it's inflation or other things. So can a restaurant afford to not be focused 100% on providing a great guest experience? Our job is to get more people into the door, into the transaction path, allow you to learn about them without having to do anything. And in fact, we're going to actually do a lot of actions for you. And the ones that we aren't, we're at least going to prompt you to take that action so that you can spend time actually servicing the clients. We're going to get them there. Your job kicks in with service, with food quality, etc. Our job kicks back in because now we've learned so much about Sean. We're going to remarket so that Brendan doesn't have to worry about it. And again, Sean comes back now 8 times.
I love it.
So.
That was tasty. That sounded really good.
I felt good.
How many products do you guys have? Officially.
So it's fun. So if we said features,
okay, features.
From the beginning,
how many bells and whistles?
A billion.
A billion bells and whistles.
The thing is, like, we
solve my problem. The person that's sitting here.
Solve my problem.
Tony actually solved my problem live Live on the podcast.
From the beginning, we were like, we don't want a nickel and dime. And there were some core principles, especially for single locations, where it's like, hey, when you sign up with us, we're never going to raise your price. We still have people who've been with us 6 years, and we haven't raised their price ever. But they get all the continuous innovation that we keep building in. That's just a commitment we made, to them. And we buy software too. I can't stand getting nickel and dime. So we don't charge for every single thing. It's like our the way we keep you engaged is we just keep giving you more and more features and more improvement on the platform while your price stays the same. We've got 4 or 5 different product levels. But I think, my thing I would pick is the core platform itself, our pro platform. It does what he just said, where it's like, it just simplifies so much of how you're approaching the market, whether it's emailing and texting. There's just so much in there, social, Google My Business integration, all of that stuff. And so the core platform is what is helping people the most. And what the great thing is, like, we only had 2 products for the first 3 years, and then we've added answering. We've added a few different things. What we see is clients tend to roll with one for a while and then go, now I'm going to add Boost. Now I'm going to add answering. And so I like that they're building the belief before they, take up more products. But I also like that the more they invest, the more value they get out of it. So, yeah, I have to go with the core product. It just changes so much about how you approach the market. And now with all the AI. So what AI is really helping us do is like make it easier to even utilize our platform, where it's, I know you want to do a social post. I know you don't want to write it. So we wrote it for you. We saw that you had this event. We wrote a
You
social
post it?
They post it.
They post it.
I'm not doing it auto. That's
good. You're a smart man.
No.
I wouldn't post it either.
And we'll give you a demo, but you basically
We'll give you a demo, but we're not
we'll see, hey, there's an event. We created a post. You can go.
That's the hard work.
You can go and tweak
that's
the
the
tone.
hard work. Yes.
You can say, I want it to be friendlier, or I want it to be this. You can keep regenerating
Plan,
the copy.
produce, publish, promote.
And that happens in 1
Plan,
minute.
produce, publish, promote.
know?
Those are the 4 Ps.
Yes.
Yes.
And so we cut down on some of those
cut
steps.
down on some of those Ps.
It's like we already saw it. Already your audience is built into the platform, and they're reachable by email, by mass email, by smart email, by text, by social, and now the content is in there too. And so we're just cutting down in each area, more steps you have to take to get the message out, whatever it's event, an offer, a dish, a chef's menu, whatever it is.
I love it. So every single Wednesday, Friday on the social audio app Clubhouse, you can come on stage, you can tell us about your restaurant, tell us about your sales, tell us about your marketing, content creation. We actually have Popmenu. Justin joins us, not all the time, but he does come in. He's done an incredible job on Clubhouse. I want to thank you guys for literally being the example. So many companies are out here trying to figure out this internet thing, but very few of them have leaders like you that are putting the work in, that are having the conversations that matter.
Appreciate it.
Super excited about what you guys are building. What's the best way for somebody that's listening to the show? How can they get a Popmenu demo?
Yep, get.popmenu.com. Ask for Tony.
Ask for Tony.
He'll give you the demo.
I like it.
And he'll get you fired up. He'll get you fired up in the demo. So I would say get.popmenu.com, and we are not a high pressure company. Like for me, we're gonna do the best job of telling you what we have and how it'll help. And if it's not for you at that time, we're not gonna try to put you in a chokehold and get you in. So it's a low pressure, no pressure demo. I will say that as a product person, one of the biggest kicks I get out of this business is when a restaurateur sees the platform for the first time. And they get what I call "oh shit" face.
The "oh shit" moment.
When they go,
we talk about
shit,
the "oh shit" moments all the time.
Yeah, and it's just more than they expect. And it's, I've heard so many times. My favorite phrase is, "This is exactly what I would have asked for if I knew how to ask for it." And it's like that is sweet music to my ears as a product person. But get the demo, see it. If you like it, take it. If you don't, send it back.
Awesome. Yeah, we appreciate the exposure you're doing for the industry too. I think that's
absolutely
helpful. It's been a once in a generational replatforming of the space, and a lot of
We're
good
just
is
at the
coming out of the
beginning.
craziness.
This is it's crazy that the internet's 30 years old, and we act like it's been around forever. It hasn't.
Yeah.
Like we're all trying to figure this thing out.
It's still early innings, and it's hard to understand that. For like I started working at an internet company in 1999. I was like, get this, I have a job on the web.
right?
I'm doing it's super exciting, and there's still so many more ways we can help restaurants. So, and yeah, you are doing a great job of
Appreciate that.
thought leadership, education. Like this is the big push and the big challenge.
It's the game within the game. The people that get a
Yeah.
seat at the table that, for whatever reason couldn't make it to Chicago, come to the show, they can find out who Popmenu is, what you guys are doing, what digital hospitality is. Like, we all have hospitality in our blood. We do it
Yeah.
phenomenal in real life,
Yeah.
but when it comes to digitally, it's like, oh shit, what do you mean? Google, Yelp, selling things. I got to be on TikTok. I got to be on Instagram. I got to do a social post.
Yeah.
I need to answer the phone. Like, all of those things keep restaurants up at night, and you guys are help solving those things.
Awesome. Thank you.
So thank you guys. We're going to put links into the show notes. If you want to connect with me, it's at Sean P. Walchef, ShawnPWalchef. We hope that you make it next year to the National Restaurant Association show. You come to Popmenu. I can't wait to see what they have next year, but we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Thanks.